bans, we're actually already into the picks, and you're going to see Messiah's Graves come out. And if you guys don't know about Messiah, he is definitely one of the top 80 carries, not just in China, but in the entire world. And we're going to see that world-class carrying go down with Graves from Gigabyte's Team World Elite here. And it looks like the counter from Taipei Assassins is going to be Sivir. How do you feel about that, Joe?
Interesting one, to be quite honest with you. We've seen a lot of Graves in Go4LoL Pro Asia. WX, obviously the AD carry from World Elite, is an absolute monster with pretty much, I think, everything we've seen him with so far. Unfortunately, we're not going to see a Messiah Twisted Fate, which kind of annoys me a little bit because Messiah is indeed a absolute ridiculous person with the Twisted Fate. But I think still I fancy Graves. Graves is for me one of, if not the strongest AD carry out there right now, and he's proved it's been proved time and time again through Go4LoL Pro Asia that these Asian community are amazingly good with him as well. Anyway, Udia, Vladimir. Obviously, Vladimir is a pick that we've seen, I think, almost every game. I believe it is, that plays top lane for World Elite, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm right with that. YJTM's the jungler, CM the support player, if I'm not 100% wrong. We'll see about that anyway. Alistair Janna coming in over on the other side. So we are going to be seeing a jungle Alistair, or who knows? We've seen stranger things happen in this tournament than being wrong with that. Maybe it's a jungle Janna. Everyone knows those Howling Gales are totally overpowered. Cassiopeia and Soraka going to be locked in. And I'm not sure if you guys follow me on Twitter, you should have seen the reason why I always say Soraka is indeed overpowered. It's not because it's Starcall. It's not because she can give mana and health back to everyone. It's because her bananas are just the strongest auto attack known to man. If you saw that one, she actually just threw one banana at Baron and he died. Okay, he had no HP left, but you know, that takes some skill to actually last hit Baron with a banana from Soraka. That's not something you see every day. And it looks like final pick coming out is going to be Lulu again. Lulu we've seen time and time again here in Go4LoL Pro Asia, being picked in this top lane role. And, well, an interesting set of picks for game number one. World Elite, of course, going to be going with Cassiopeia on Messiah in the middle. YJTM Udia, it's a fairly regular pick for him. Ife, yeah, of course, Ife's a support player. See, I did get it wrong. CM, the support, Ife for support. CM, the top lane player, is what I'm trying to get out. And, of course, WX, the AD carry for World Elite. For Taipei Assassins, we've got Bibi on Sivir with Mistake down in the bottom lane on Janna. Lil Balls, the jungler, on Alistair. Toys in the middle on Morgana. And, of course, Stanley, the top laner, going in there with Lulu. So now we've got these picks in there. What are your thoughts on these two lineups?
I really do like the Sivir pickup from Bebe. I think that's going to be really, something we can watch out for. It's really micro-intensive as far as the spell shield is concerned. If you can spell shield the buckshot or even the ultimate from Graves, that's just like almost like half of his burst damage, just completely gone. And it's not just that you're negating that damage; you're getting to do all the damage that Sivir does do with an auto attack reset and a giant nuke in her boomerang as well. And that's going to be something to watch out for bottom lane. Plus, they have the CC combo of Janna Alistar. That's 2 knockups and knockbacks, neither of which are, you can't break those with anything like Mercury Treads or any form of tenacity. Yeah. So they just have really sure CC, as well as the ultimate from Lulu, which is a knockup in and of itself and also goes through Ignite, just gives you flat health. And that's just kind of a default, I want to save this guy button. And if they go ahead and pop that on Sivir, it's just going to provide so much peel for the AD carry. They believe in Bebe. It is in Bebe they trust. And if you guys have checked out even the North American ranked 5 solo queue ladder, you can see, I think, 3 of these guys in the top 10. So when you're playing with 250 ping for both of these teams, they just completely dominate wherever they go. And as far as Gigabyte's team is concerned, looks like they're going to go for a double Will of the Ancients composition. But if you already look, they already have 3 ignites, so they know that there's going to be a significant amount of healing going on for Taipei Assassins, and they don't want that to go on. and just want to be able to kind of control things as well as pick up the kills that Ignite allows you to pick up. Ignite on an 80 carry, not something you see a whole lot of, but apparently in this metagame it is a little bit more standard. You see actually both 80 carries picking that one up.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this one all goes down. Obviously, Alistar in the jungle, if he gets in a good enough position to get these ganks in and manages to land that combo, he's one of those junglers which you can find yourself saying GG before you even try to escape from that one. Obviously, the Howling Gale that can come in there as well means that you are CC'd for literally half a year. And then almost dead before you can have any kind of time to react for that one. Don't forget, guys, you still have time to get in your predictions over on Twitter at Joe_Miller. On Twitter, we are giving out 4 of those ESL League of Legends shirts, the carry only, jungle only, support only shirts that you've seen on the Intel Extreme Masters and other events and stuff like that. So we are going down into the last couple of seconds, and well, excited to see this one go down. Obviously, it is game number 1. It's going to be a best of 3 as I get, again, the missing language pack, which makes me cry. Did you get that, Era?
You know what? I didn't. I'm just loading in here like completely normally.
Wow.
And looks like I am in fact loading in on an Amigo or some form of TI-89. So it's going to be a while, so I'll give you plenty of time to catch up there.
Yeah, well, the thing is I'm in, but I have that problem that I had the other day, which means the kind of gold's going to be all over the place. And
oh, that's right.
And stuff doesn't really happen as intended. Riot, I have to give them their credit for that one. They did fix it. Apparently, it's something with my client rather than anything else. It actually took me 9 hours or something to download this client. So when they said it's an error on our end, I kind of believed them with that one and didn't re-download the client and install it again because there's just not enough hours in a day to make that all happen. So yeah, we are going to get into this one. Let's give you a quick rundown once again of the 2 teams. For World Elite, we have Messiah on Cassiopeia, YJTM on Udia, IF on Soraka, CM on Vladimir, and WX on Graves. And over for Taipei Assassins, we have Bibi on Sivir, Mistake on Janna, and we've already got a pause. Lil Balls on Alistar, Toys on Morgana, and Stanley on Lulu. So yeah.
Yeah, they're just waiting for Gigabyte's or World Elite's team to reconnect. It looks like YJTM had a little bit of an issue there, but he actually should have reconnected, so they may unpause at any second. If I'm not mistaken, he pretty much DCs the beginning of just about every game, so he's actually back in here. So it shouldn't be too long before we actually see things get back underway.
There we go. We are back and running, which is always a good thing. So, if I look down Twitter here, everyone seems pretty split as to who's going to win this one. 2-0 for World Elite, 2-0 for Taipei Assassins, 2-1 for Taipei, 2-1 for Taipei, 2-1 for World Elite. So, that's just showing you how interesting this game is certainly going to be. And again, guys, I can only apologize for the missing sounds and stuff like that. That seems to be some random corruption that happened with the patch last week. The right guys said it was actually on their end. They then fixed it, but obviously it didn't fix it on my end. So, yeah, unfortunately, that is how it is. Doesn't actually really make too much of really of a difference anyway. So let's see what we get in this early game. Taipei Assassins all stacked around by this top brush, ready to make a move possibly down in towards that blue buff. World Elite obviously starting out on the blue side, are on the bottom side of their jungle, already stuck a ward down. An early ward was also put in by Taipei Assassins on their corner brush by blue, which for me is a great defensive ward. Gives them nice vision over by that blue side to figure out if World Elite will make any kind of entrance on towards their jungle. Currently, Taipei Assassins are still in and around this top tri-bush, waiting for someone or something to come their way. Vladimir's actually hanging around in base. I'm assuming going to pick himself up his 4th pot. Yep, there is the 4th pot, and he goes back. And they are pinging now down towards this blue blue buff side. This could be very interesting. I think World Elite are going to go straight into this brush, and they could very well meet this entire Taipei Assassins team. There goes the ward down, and CM is actually going to get Dark Bind, and he's going to surely die from this one. He's actually skilled the pull first. Ignite is burning though, and it is going to be first blood going over to Morgana. Messiah should get the hell away from that one. Toys did take a fair amount of damage here, but they are going to be stealing away this blue buff. A great start to the game. There it is, going to be smited down, and that will be first blood and the blue buff stolen away by Taipei Assassins. A great, great start to this grand final.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you just saw Calmei walk in there and either didn't really expect to see everybody there from World Elite, but just walked in there, or from Taipei Assassins, walked in there, got burst down immediately, and I don't know. It's not exactly the way they plan on starting the game, but we'll see if they are in fact able to, bring it back. As that does mean that Vladimir is going to make it back to lane with 5 health potions, which is really key in a sort of an aggressive pushing kind of battle that Vladimir likes to play in his lane.
I think the problem is the assist went pretty much across the board there. Only Alistar it was that didn't get an assist from that first kill. So, Lulu will be able to go home shortly. 415 gold, currently about 200 gold overall above Vladimir's total. So we'll see how that one all works up. Once again, we're seeing Alistar moving through into the World Elite jungle, as those final couple of lizards will be taken away by Udi, and that's the annoying thing that can happen in the game when you lose your buff early and they don't take out the smaller creeps in the camp. You're just basically annoyed because you've got no idea what the time is going to be. Udi is actually coming in here behind Stanley, who's actually going to use the speed on himself to get away from this one. Turns out to be a good move. We'll be able to walk back with losing only minimal HP. Down in the bottom lane, of course, we have Graves versus Sivir. And I'm interested to see how this one all works out. Obviously, WX is going to be putting as much pressure as he can early on in this game. And he's currently 25 CS to 12, so you can see the slight advantage he's got there, albeit because he was in lane earlier as well. Don't forget, Sivir was up in this top side of the map trying to get that first blood, which they nicely did as well. And they know Udi has positioned this whole time. This ward in the blue buff brush has kept vision on him, and that's going to allow Lulu to have pretty much no problems when it comes to getting into a gank. She should know that he's going to be around there. Actually will get spotted this time, but look at that. The speed buff is just a little bit too much. YJTM going to feel a little bit of pressure as well. Here comes Alistar, double buffed as well, but World Elite in a safe position to escape from that one.
Yeah, Alistar is actually what I would consider one of the strongest junglers that Lil Balls has. Between Alistar and Trundle, he'll just pick those guys every single time you let him, and just does so well with them. Yeah, like you mentioned, Wei Zhao got into lane bottom on Graves a little bit earlier, and you just see him dominating in CS. So when he is forced to go back, that is going to be a really strong buy. Messiah mid lane, you saw him have perfect timing and positioning. He knew when the Alistar gank was coming in. Alistar just did kind of a drive-by up through mid and then rolled around to top lane. And one of the things about jungle Alistar is you have amazing ganks, but you really have to get something done. And if you aren't able to, that's okay, because you can go those gold for 5 items, but you really don't scale into late game the same way that, say, an Udyr would. So it's really going to be kind of on Alistar to make something out of that, and haven't seen anything so far, so I'll definitely be looking for Low Balls to come up pretty big here as he rolls around for his next gank after the blue buff.
And once again up in this top lane, Stanley putting down a load of pressure onto CM's Vladimir. Having a couple of problems so far. He's actually burnt through at least 2 of those pots. I think he had 5 actually at one point, so we'll have burnt through 3 of them, of course. The CS up there, 26 for Vladimir, 38 for Lulu. So you can see that Lulu having a real strong time of things in this top lane. We'll see if that continues to be the case. CS in middle, 47 for Cassiopeia to the 38 of Morgana. So Morgana slight bit behind with that one, but again, Lil Ball's doing a great job here on the invasion. Going to be taking down the 3 of the 4 wraiths from that camp, and once again Udi is going to come back in and thinking, oh my god, this is just too annoying for me. He's going to take that one down straight away, but still doing a great job so far, Alistar. But as Rapid pointed out, he needs to be getting in here for these ganks, needs to be setting up these kills for his team. WX has now come back into lane, double Doran's blade in hand. up against Sivir, who obviously is a little bit behind in CS, not being home just yet. We'll be sitting on, what, 1,200, almost 1,300 gold currently. So should be headed home here sometime in the near future. But WX looking very commanding down in this bottom lane so far.
Yeah, Wei Zhao is just doing such a good job. You saw excellent reflexes also from Bebe, who I believe goes by Bebe as a dog on the NA servers. So in case you guys know him from there, he just had perfect timing with his spell shields, blocking a lot of the damage from Graves. But with those double Doran's blades, there's really nothing he can do. He should have timed his recall with Wei Zhao's, but actually you saw another perfect spell shield there. So really Graves doesn't have a Q anymore, just with how strong Bebe has been, landing his spell shields. But now that she has gone back, picks up those double Doran displays and actually a Vampiric Scepter as well. So now she is actually going to have the advantage over Wei Zhao in the bottom lane once she does return, essentially picking up a Vampiric Scepter over 3 health potions. Now, ideally, having an extra item is great, but 3 health potions gives you an extra 100 and like 400 health effectively in lane. It's going to take a lot of auto attacking to get the same benefit from having that Vampiric Scepter.
Indeed, we just saw Alistar come down there as well. Has got those boots of mobility finished now, so speeding his way across the map. Got the Oracle on as well, so we'll be starting to clear out these wards as he heads down towards this bottom lane. Possibly the most obvious thing that he could have done there after clearing out that ward. And decides, well, probably not going to get that much time. We're at 8.5 minutes now, so this blue buff should be up any time now. We can see that YJTM has gone in there, and as if by magic, he's got his timing down absolutely perfectly on this one. Needed to have it down as well. He knows that those invasions from Alistar are going to be coming thick and fast onto his side of the map, and it will be, of course, Cassiopeia who does pick up that blue buff top lane again. Stanley has managed to force CM back onto his turret, 47 to 63 CS there, so we can see that's a good difference. YJTM, though, is now coming in onto the top. Speed comes out from Stanley. Actually will use his ulti as well, and you can see the power of Lulu, and not even down to a half HP, actually, from that one. And just a overall ridiculously strong top lane is this Lulu. And don't forget, this is actually on, not on quite the latest patch, but on the one
Varus patch.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Varus patch we're patched up to. So Lulu did take a little bit of a nerf up to this one, but obviously it's not enough.
Yeah, Stanley, it's just like, did a drive-by. He's like, I'm going to go out this way. And Udyr's like, I'm going to try to stun you. And then he just knocks him out of the way and zooms on by. And it's like, oh, I didn't know this was a gank. And actually, bottom lane, there's a lot of action going on. It looks like Wei Zhao is getting kind of destroyed here. Has Soraka in lane, so it's not really going to be that big a deal. But whenever, you're Sivir and you can put out that much damage on a Graves that has like 75 of each stat, it's going to be a lot of damage. Even forced to use the exhaust there. Bebe is just doing some work bottom. Now, Toys has actually come down here from middle lane, sees a lot of action going down, and doesn't want to, wants to be in position should the opportunity arise. She's going to actually, oh my goodness, barely miss the Dark Binding there on YJTM, and then just be forced to back on out of there and roll on around towards the blue buff.
And Stanley is really giving CM a big hard time in this top lane. He's currently around about 20 CS ahead already, and you can see how much damage he's already done onto this turret. And the damage that he actually throws out onto CM is pretty damn huge as well. Down in this bottom lane, Baby now, of course, trying to utilize that spell shield. A little bit slow on it this time, as he does walk back into that smoke screen. But still, we stick at 1-0. Almost 11 minutes into this one. The wards are now down by the Dragon, so we could possibly see the Dragon being done here shortly. Stanley, he's just having free roam on this top turret. He's absolutely battering it, and only going to need another couple of hits before that one goes down. Possibly even in this next minion wave, that one will be finished off. And Stanley, not thinking about just last hitting here, he is pushing this lane very, very aggressively. Is going to finish off that minion wave, and you have to feel that this turret is going to go down. Yeah, it certainly will. And there we go. First turret of the game goes in favor of Taipei Assassin's, showing once again why Lulu is still such a strong pick in this top lane.
Yeah, and actually, Calmei, I'm pretty surprised went with the Ninja Tab Eye for boots. I'm kind of, interested to see exactly why that is. I mean, obviously that's a laning choice, but usually you see Vladimir's either go for CDR boots, the Ionian boots of Lucidity to push the lane out, or go with magic penetration boots if they want to actually be aggressive and start killing a lot of champions. But neither one of those options there. So Calmei may be experiencing a lot of difficulty, as you can already see. This turret has gone down right around the 11-minute and 30-second mark, and already that's going to be a dragon attempt here for Taipei Assassins off of that early turret kill. So they're just trying to take all the advantages that they can, and it looks like they're just going to take this one down for free.
Yeah, that was a free dragon. Actually, YJTN's going to be in trouble. Surely will actually go down. He's flashed away, and maybe they're able to pull this one. Ulti has been popped by Sivir, but will they get over to YJTM in time? Stanley now is going to fall. He turns straight back around. Bibby has actually flashed in there as well. YJTM is still alive, and I feel this could go very, very wrong for Taipei Assassins. Toys is getting harassed there by Vladimir. Lil Ball's actually just nudging the attack back, and Toys will walk away, and that will give us a 1-for-1. And I suppose really the advantage going over there to Morgana. She's now 2-for-0. We did see the one kill coming around for Cassiopeia was in onto Lulu, who probably needed to go down. She's been that annoying for World Elite up to this stage. Actually is already nicely working her way up here. Recurve bow, double Doran's blade, Berserker Greaves are already finished compared to Vladimir, who's gone, as you said, Ninja Tabby. Went for a Doran's shield as well. Really felt he needed that one with the HP. Bottom tower is going to go down in favor of World Elite. The Howling Gale is going to land though, but the question is, do they really have the damage here to take down Graves? They certainly will do now that Sivir is in here, but have they got what it takes to keep going? Heal's going to go off all over the place. Actually, summon heal is used there as well. Can they catch up to WX? He will use his Q, and here is Alistar going to flash through, and there is the finisher from Bibby. Nicely done. And what happened to Soraka? Ah, there she is. She walked up north and is going to walk straight into a very hungry Morgana, who makes it 3-for-0. And that will bring us to a 4-1 scoreline. And Taipei Assassins, they've lost this bottom turret. But I tell you what, they really turned up the heat there. Great play once again. Patient play by Alistar.
Yeah, and perfect play by Bebe. You saw Alistar flash the turret shot so that it actually aggroed Sivir first. That was just absolutely mind-blowing. Perfect decision-making there from Alistar. And Lil Ball is just showing exactly why he is to be feared on that Alistar. Oh my goodness, Messiah is going to get cut out there. The ult comes off from Toys, and he's going to try to flash away, but will go down.
Yeah, it procced as well. He flashed over the top by into the Wolves pit. There goes the Dark Binding. Actually, it's landed on Vladimir, and they'll say, well, I tell you what, Udia, you've managed to get yourself away. We're going to focus Vladimir, who flashes over as well. They will be safe from that, but this could well be tower number 2 for Taipei Assassins on this top lane. That inner turret, there are 4 of them there. Obviously, they've got the heals coming out from Alistar. They should be able to take it down pretty quickly with the damage that they've got. Minions are there as well to tank the turret, and that will be the third one, obviously, of the game. The second one in this top lane for Taipei Assassins. They also took out that outer turret down at bottom, and they've only lost this outer turret in the bottom lane as well. Taipei Assassins all going to get themselves back home, saying job done, and it is 5-1 to the Taiwanese side, who, I predicted them, not going to lie, as the winners of this one. Although, for me, you could have gone definitely either way with this one. The fact is that Taipei Assassins, for me, have looked unstoppable throughout this whole Go4LoL Pro Asia tournament, and it doesn't seem like it will be anything different today.
Yeah, they definitely are bringing, firing on all cylinders right now. I mean, it's not looking good for our heroes as far as World Elite is concerned. You can really see their top lane just getting crushed. And now that actually a lot of turrets have gone down, 3 already. Oh my goodness, Messiah could get caught out here again, narrowly dodges the Dark Binding from Toys. You're going to see both teams start to roam, start to group up a lot more. And really, I feel like the harder that Taipei Assassins pushes things towards those team fights, the better off they're going to be. They have a Morgana that's 4-0 already with an Abyssal Scepter going for it. Looks like either a late Rod of Ages or most likely a Death Cap, just going massive damage. And that's exactly what Taipei Assassins need. They're just going to push team fights, do so much damage here, and really look to kind of try to close things out.
And they know that they have to be so careful about getting caught by this dot binding from Morgana. They know they'll get pushed in. Actually, Lil Balls here off towards the side, clearing out once again. There goes the dot binding, flashing by Ife, who was right on the end of the range, so possibly they wouldn't have jumped in for that one. Morgana does have Abyssal Scepter already finished. I'm assuming probably going to go towards that Zhonya's Hourglass as the second major item for her. Lulu now has Wit's End finished as well, and he's going to be hurting all that much more. Actually, Vladimir has managed to creep ahead of her in terms of the CS, but if you look at that top lane, it was a domination. YJTM actually is going to get hit there by the dot binding, but he was safely enough behind that turret to stop Taipei Assassins jumping in on top of them. And we now dance around this middle. Obviously, both outer turrets are still up from either side. There's another ward will be weeded out. And I tell you what, that Oracle on Alistar has surely paid its dividend by now. He's not gone down whatsoever. He's had it since around about 8 minutes into the game, I think. And he's done a great job so far. And there was a comment in chat about Lil Balls here, you know, not being one of the best around. But to be quite honest with you, Lil Balls, for me, is one of the best around.
Man, this guy is kind of not living up to his name, and you know, going wherever he wants. And actually, his level 1 or his first buy, he went back and picked up nothing but like wards and 5 speeds, and didn't get his gold per 5 items until way later, and even, you know, got an oracles before then. And so he's like, you know what, I don't need actual items. And that's something we see a lot out of a lot of Southeast Asian teams. They rely so much on skill and positioning and teamwork, less so on items. They just make, you know, the big plays happen seemingly on their own, and that's something that we've definitely seen out of Taipei Assassins so far this game. It's just, I don't know, they just seem to like make things happen out of thin air. They've gotten dragons, they've made the play, they've pushed down 2 turrets top lane, and wisely actually backed off of mid, as you know, they did see the rest of World Elite sort of bottle up around there, and they're like, or we could just go positions for dragon or push down bottom lane or so many other things. We're just really making smart choices and not getting caught out, not getting picked off, and just sort of, you know, trying to make this as technically, you know, perfect a game as possible. It certainly doesn't look like they've made very many mistakes so far.
Yeah, and just to the guys who are obviously showing their ignorance, Taipei Assassins are from Taiwan, World Elite from China. There are no Koreans in this game. Just so you,
Najin EM-Fire actually getting knocked out last round, so something I definitely did not see coming, but a lot of top teams here in the Final Four, and now we're down to the Final 2 in this grand finals between World Elite, sponsored by Gigabyte from China, and then Taipei Assassins from Taiwan.
Well, Dragon being done currently here by Taipei Assassins. World Elite off towards the bottom side of things. Smite is available here for Alistar. Going to take it, and we are going to see the fight kicking off as well. This ulti from Morgana is going to rip through the entire team. CM is the next one to go down. Who's the next focus? Udi absolutely melted. They need to get in on Graves, though, and stop him from being able to do any more. And Stanley actually has to flash away from that one. And again, the targeting not amazingly good. I actually almost missed that there with Baby chasing down Soraka. But that is 4 kills. But again, you've got to expect that they maybe have focused Graves a little bit better in that situation. He is the AD carry after all. But still taking 4 for just the 1 death. Lil Balls, the jungler, of course, who, as you mentioned, spent pretty much all of his money, actually, on running more supporty items. Lots of wards he's had so far. Got those GP10s a little bit later on. Has actually gone straight into the Shurelya's Reverie as his first, I guess you could call it a major item. And that is going to be that. However, Bibi now is in a little bit of trouble. WX going to hunt him down. You can see there the crit coming in from that Infinity Edge. Bibi actually trying to lifesteal enough back, but of course that's not going to happen. And there is the shutdown as well, which isn't obviously displaying so correctly from my point of view. But that is 9-3, 33 to 25,000 gold. It's a big lead for Taipei Assassins.
Yeah, and at 21 minutes, you're already almost 12 or 10,000 gold ahead. That is a really fast, really large advantage. And that last fight, anyways, you saw World Elite really focus Stanley, who then ulted himself, gave himself an extra like 475 health, and then just kind of, walked around, did tons of damage, and is actually building kind of like a Shred Teemo build. A lot of attack speed items, a lot of magic damage, and that really stacks up very well with the Pix passive and the excellent CC coming out from Glitterlands. It's just, I don't know, this Lulu is doing some work, and they really need to figure out how to deal with that, because it's really kind of hard countering Vladimir. All of that magic or magic resist reduction just pretty much does true damage, and it does it so fast that Vlad essentially has to pull out almost immediately after being focused by Stanley. So Stanley's just really been making the plays, and Messiah last time flashed in, got an ult off, but then got immediately CC'd by Morgana, and just really needs to be careful about flashing in. Not something you really want to do on your AP carry.
Yeah, that's something, a questionable decision possibly from that one. Obviously, Morgana got the needlessly large rod blasting one, so looking like she's screwed us on his hourglass. I don't need that protection. I'm just going to go straight in for a Rabadons and grab the extra AP with that one as well. So we'll see how that all works out. Currently 4-0-3, so it's definitely not a bad position. Sivir is also 4-1-2 Bloodthirster plus Last Whisper from that one. So at this stage of the game, in a very, very strong position. If you compare that over to the other AD carry, of course, in this game, Graves, who is slightly ahead in terms of CS, but he's got the Infinity Edge just finished off, Double Doran's Blade, and is working his way up towards Azil, which, as I say that, it just pops up. He just bought that one. So you can see that he is, in terms of the major items, a little bit behind. If you look at total gold between them, 8,500 to 7,300. So just shows you that 1,100 gold difference between the two AD carries coming in there nicely from the Dragons, and the turret advantage plus the kill advantage that he has there over Graves.
Yeah. And it's not even just the gold difference, it's the item difference. Like, their builds are completely opposite. Graves going for more of an attack speed crit based build, whereas Sivir's just going for as much straight up attack damage as possible, skipping the Infinity Edge, skipping the Last Whisper, or skipping the Phantom Dancer, just going for Bloodthirster Last Whisper. She's going to be hitting incredibly hard, especially with that boomerang. It's just going to do so much damage. If that goes across your AD carry in the back, he's going to have to get out of the fight extremely quickly.
Let's see now what's going to happen. We see the wards down on the top side of the map are all about Baron right now for Taipei Assassins. Lulu once again clearing out this top lane. She's actually managed to creep ahead in the CS compared to Vladimir. Obviously, it was like that for a long time in the lane phase. There's a pink ward being taken out by Ife as well by the Baron. That's something that is always going to be annoying. Lulu needs to be a little weary here of coming in around from the side. Actually, is going to just walk in there anyway, because let's be honest, it's pretty damn strong now with the Malady in there with the Wit's End as well. It's just a little bit worrying of a time, I feel, for World Elite. Actually, Taipei Assassins just seen Janna go home. Morgana is there hanging around as well. And to be honest, in terms of vision, let's have a look here. World Elite have none, basically, of Baron. Taipei Assassins have, well, not really that much more, to be honest. There's one ward in this corner bush, one just been thrown over the top of the wall in the middle. But still, their vision isn't exactly what you'd call tip-top. The problem is that, you know, a team fight, realistically speaking, is going to be a Taipei Assassins win if they have their right positioning, obviously, and don't mess something up big time. It should be all about them. The question is now, how are Taipei Assassins going to set up for this Baron attempt? There is a ward to be taken down. Little Balls also has not exactly built much lately. He's just added that Ruby Crystal in, plus a null magic mantle since the last time I actually talked about what items he had in there. There's YJTM taking the Dark Binding and Tormented Soil combo from Toys, who's just trying to keep them back. Blue buff is going to be stolen away, or at least possibly stolen away by Taipei Assassins. World Elite coming in around the corner. Howling Gale goes over already too late. Morgana has that blue buff taken, and that is one less thing for Taipei Assassins to be worried about. when it comes to this next fight. And actually, I feel this could be a bit of a mistake. You know, Taipei Assassins headed down towards the Dragon when, you know, they're going to leave World Elite on the top side of the map. Okay, they've left Bibby and Stanley there. It's only Morgana that's actually gone back. That's a lot of farm for Morgana in this bottom lane, so that's something she's going to be happy about. But World Elite, without Morgana there, will probably think, you know what, guys, let's do Baron. And they are indeed going to go straight in for this Baron attempt, and I feel that Taipei Assassins aren't going to react quickly enough to this one. Baron is already at half HP. They're not even really looking. Shirelius Reverie is going to be popped, but Baron is taken by World Elite. What an absolute nightmare of an event there for Taipei Assassins.
Oh
I do not
goodness.
know why they've just given that away. That made no sense to me whatsoever. All right, there's a load of farm down bottom, but to be quite honest with you, is that farm worth losing out on the gold from Baron? Plus the fact that they don't have the Baron anymore. And that's going to be back with World Elite. And for me, that was a mistake. They are going to be taking this inner middle turret down. But, I don't know. For me, not the best play that we've ever seen.
Yeah, well, speaking of mistakes and not living up to their names, Taipei Assassin's mistake is actually 007, not having made a whole lot of mistakes. That mistake that time around was definitely on Morgana. I thought that the rest of the Taipei Assassins were going to be able to exert enough pressure to keep, you know, World Elite off of Baron, but not so. And that is a Baron buff. They're going to close down the gold lead. They're going to close down the turret lead. And they do actually need to start taking those outer turrets because they only are at 2 to 6 right now. And that's really what this Baron buff is all going to be about, is can they push with it? Can they even up the turret disadvantage and just bring themselves back into this game? And if there was ever a time that World Elite could get this job done, it is now. As they do have that, they're going to roll around it, try to push down the top turret. And I think they're going to be able to get this, as really Taipei Assassins are kind of all over the place. You see Toys down in mid lane. There's a couple people top, a couple people in base, and they're really going to need to regroup if they want to have anything to say about this push coming out here from World Elite.
Yeah, and I just don't understand it, to be honest with you. Taipei Assassins have, like, they look pretty flawless up until this point, and then they just go and do that, which makes absolutely no sense to me. You know, farm, yeah, it's all nice, good and well. 241 CS now to 187, so Morgana does have a big lead. Currently sitting on 1,600 CS. It's actually 10,700 gold to 7,600 overall between the two AP carries. Sivir has actually got that Phantom Dancer now built up, so she's going to be hurting a lot more. Graves also has that Phantom Dancer added in towards his Infinity Edge. And we've just seen Vladimir pick up the needlessly large rod to go with that Hunting, guys, and the Will of the Ancients as well. Actually, there's a Guardian's Angel now on Lulu as well, which is interesting way to go, I suppose, for Lulu.
Yeah. I would expect to see something like even maybe a Nashor's Tooth, just something along those lines. Lulu going for a really hybrid build. This is something you saw first out of Voyboy during IPL 4. It was just kind of like, why would you ever? Oh wait, it does massive amounts of damage. And Lulu is definitely doing sort of that, you know, attack speed ranged, you know, AD carry top. Except it's not AD, it's more AP. And not with that Guardian Angel, she's just not gonna die. She's been like, okay guys, if you seriously want to focus me every single fight, you're gonna have to A, do it twice, and B, you're gonna have to add on about 700 extra damage once I pop my ultimate on myself. So he's definitely wanting to be able to do that damage without being focused, and I think that that's going to be something that's is really going to be an asset here for Taipei Assassins. They're going to have 2 damage dealers that really can't be touched. You're going to have, you know, all the CC from Taipei Assassins, Zone and Peel for Bebe, and then, you know, Lulu can pretty much just handle herself on her own. She is a big girl now, and is going to be able to do a lot of damage. And it's really, as this Baron buff starts to wear out, will you know, World Elite be able to handle Taipei Assassins after they you know, lose that advantage? And I really don't think so.
Yeah, Baron's really on its way to being finished now. And let's be honest, they've taken what, 1 turret from it, actually.
Yeah.
So maybe that Baron's just prolonging the inevitable, actually, from how this is going. But still, from Taipei Assassin's point of view, that was a mistake to let that happen before. And that's something that they'll definitely be careful about, and I'm sure won't make the same mistake again. come the next 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, once that Baron is ready to be taken once again. And you can see that they're already setting up here. Blue buff is going to be taken away once again by Toys. And the wards are already down. Is there still that Oracle up? Yes, it's on Ive, the support player, of course, from World Elite. Playing Soraka this time around, but you can see that Taipei Assassins, they're doing exactly what you need to do in the run-up to a Baron. That's push all of these lanes as heavy as you possibly can. Make sure that World Elite have to then defend there before they can even think about pushing out. Once again, this bottom lane is going to be fairly heavily pushed. They've spotted that Sivir is down in the bottom side of the jungle. And, well, he needs to get with his team in the next minute and a half, that's for sure. They don't want to be giving anything away. Once again, there's Ive just getting hit with the Dark Binding Torment. So you can see the damage that it actually does. Until there, Morgana's got 508 AP currently. Second needlessly large rod has been built up. I'm assuming going for Zhonya's Hourglass this time around.
Yeah, won't be able to complete that, but will be able to go back and increase her armor anyways. She's so tanky with the magic resist from Abyssal Scepter and the armor from the Zhonya's. It's just, she's going to be hard to kill. She's going to be incredibly powerful. And you don't even see a death cap off on Messiah yet, just going a lot more for a utility-based build, not even attempting a death cap so far. Not really necessary, as you really just need, you know, that CC coming out from, or you just need, you know, massive damage that Messiah has just from the DPS from Twin Fangs. Now, something that Taipei Assassins are really going to have to look to do, you saw their positioning really cost them that Baron, and even still, they're kind of split up. You see Sivir all the way in the back. Bebe really needs to kind of get with the rest of the team, as 4v5 is, you know, no matter how fed Taipei Assassins are, I think that's still going to be a fight that World Elite wants to have, and so it's really going to be something to look for. I really feel in the next confrontation, if Taipei Assassins are still split up, that could possibly cost them the game, and you're really going to look for World Elite to do what they've been doing so strongly the entire game, is just get the items that they need and you know, have that awesome teamwork and synergy that's really been, you know, carrying them so far. I mean, this game would be over if they hadn't made that Baron play. It'd be over if they hadn't just had those 3 kills that they had just because of their teamwork. And it looks like we're going to see a little bit of confrontation here, and I feel like whoever wins this solidly, it's not going to be close. It's going to be one team just completely destroying the other one, and I think that's going to be an advantage that Taipei Assassin does have.
Yeah, well, obviously we are seeing both teams dance around. Baron has now spawned, so this is where the action is going to kick off. See YJTM just trying to bait out those Dark Binding from Morgana, which actually Morgana has pushed here down on this bottom side. And once again, I should imagine that World Elite will fancy the chance of moving over towards this Baron area. Morgana is now finally coming around. This Dark Binding could land. It has actually landed there on Messiah, and there's the flash through. This is going to be a massive win once again for Taipei Assassins. Janna ulti did go off in the process of everything as well. Vladimir is going to pull. That's not going to keep him alive too much longer, though. And there is the ace, 5-0. And again, it looked like Morgana was going to come out of position, but in the end, she came around from the side, dropped in the Dark Binding. In fact, screw it, let's have another look at that fight. A little bit further back we need to go for that one. And I've gone far too far back. And there was the ace almost that I missed. So here we go. Morgana coming in from this bottom side and actually just waits around in this corner. Dark Binding lands, pool lands as well, and goes straight in there with the ultimate. Actually had the ultimate on as well from Lulu. Did get ulted up by Messiah, but you can see there's just nowhere near enough damage for that one. Let's jump back to live and see what's actually going down in the game so far. And Taipei Assassins actually just pushed straight through there. Took out this turret, did take the inhibitor, and have gone back for the Baron. So, you know, that could have been a slight little hiccup, that last Baron that they lost through being out of position. But it doesn't look like it'll be really any more than that. Lulu sat on 3,000 gold. Morgana obviously did finish the Zhonya's Hourglass now, plus the Abyss Scepter, Rabadon's Death Cap. There's wards across the entire team. Lulu's now gone in for the Black Cleaver, as you do. And obviously, Sivir must also be sitting on a ton of gold. Yeah, 2,300 gold. I'm assuming with that pickaxe sat there, probably going to be headed up towards an infinity edge moving forward. 6-1-5 currently for the Sivir, obviously 4-0-8 as well with Morgana. So just generally across the board here, very, very strong play from Taipei Assassins in game number 1. And
I really
not
feel
good
like
news for those guys that decided that World Elite were going to win when they predicted this one to win the t-shirts.
Hey, this is a best of 3, so still have plenty of chances to come back. I think this game is looking a little bleak right now for World Elite, as you know, sure, Graves is 2-3 with almost 350 farm, and if anything's gonna carry them, it's gonna be that Graves. I think that's you know, Wei Zhao is such a strong Graves player, and he has a lot of beef in front of him. But what's really hurting them right now is Calmei in that top lane has on Vladimir. It just has Zonya's haunting guys, Will of the Ancients, and you know, dodge boots, and it's just it's so painful to watch. You have a 1-5 Messiah, which is not something I'm accustomed to seeing at any point in time, and he's even been forced to go for even more magic resist. So just not a lot of damage there. Nothing like the AP coming out from Toys.
Yeah, not even a shadow of it. 210 AP currently with Cassiopeia, if I can finally get around to the Morgana, who is just a touch away from 600. Obviously does have the Elixir plus the Baron buff running as well, which is always going to help out. Actually, Stanley's just baiting them in this middle lane as they start to move in. WX is actually going to get hit with the Dark Bind, and this is going to be game on once again. YJTM is losing a little bit. Baby actually flashes in. WX is still alive there, exhausted, but nonetheless will go down. Now it's YJTM's turn to die. CM will follow, and if Ive makes it onto the fountain, I'd be surprised. Oh, actually he does, but Lulu doesn't give a flying crap anyway. I thought was even going to push through for that kill. Cassiopeia's just like, you know what, guys, I'm going to have to run away completely the opposite way from the base on this one. And there is going to be a surrender vote from World Elite, and it will be Taipei Assassins who pick up game number 1 here in the Go4LoL Pro Asia Grand Final. And a strong, strong performance. Flash_end of game _vict means victory for Taipei Assassins. And a real strong performance. Let's bring up here the post-match screen. And there we go. So let's give you a quick rundown of the winning team. I never like to go down the losing team score. I find it to be somehow a little bit derogatory. You guys can see it anyway. So for Taipei Assassins, Lil Balls in the jungle and Alistair, 3-1-11. Mistake on Janna, doesn't get more perfect than this from the support, 0-0-14. Baby on Sivir, 6-8. Toys on Morgana, big problem. Morgana's surely going to be banned next game, 4-0-11. And Stanley on Lulu, 4-1-8. Just a massive victory.